share the car.
Just be honest, man. You know what I mean? Like there ain't nothing wrong with the come up. Like if anything, there's more glory in being honest about your story. I'm like, here's what I went through, here's what I did.
Yeah.
And then 5, 10, 15 years down the road, you know, as you continue to level up, it'll be cool to reflect back and like, you didn't have to lie about it. So good to go. Another episode of Adversity Kings. We've got special guest today, John Schneider.
Yes, sir.
Right? Let's go, brother. How you doing today?
Well, how are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. So you've been in sales for 5 years?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Finished up my 5th summer in door-to-door.
Let's go. Door-to-door sales. Do you do anything in the winter?
Recruitment.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just recruit.
That's about it.
Recruit, build, work out.
Workout, you know, enjoy my time off. I'm extremely family-oriented, so it's going to be important to me.
I'm glad you brought that up because, I'll give you a little more of an introduction. 5 years of sales. How old are you?
25.
25 years old. So I imagine a little bit of college, and you probably wasn't for you.
Yep.
Then you got into sales. Now you say family oriented. Where were you guys from? Where were you born and raised?
Good question. So outside of San Francisco, born and raised, early on in my life, I grew up there till I was about 7 years old, and super cool upbringing. You know, my family was living in a nice part of California, and some things happened. Basically, my mom grew up in Illinois, and then my dad grew up in Indiana. And early on in my life, Dad got himself into trouble and whatnot, and ended up going to prison. Yeah. So basically, just because my mom was raising 4 kids pretty much alone, she decided to come back here to Illinois to basically raise us.
Same thing happened to me. Pretty much same exact thing. Decent upbringing.
Single mom, been raising 4 of us, past however many years, and basically raised outside of Chicago here. Yeah,
literally same exact thing happened to me. My mom went away first, so both my parents went away.
Wow.
Mom went away first. She did a little bit of time, and then my dad did the majority of time. And at right around like 7, 8 years old, she went away, and then right around 9, 10, she gets out, gets custody of us. He goes away, and then from there, it's like, if you add it all up, I've probably only had a couple years of actually being with my dad, consciously. I feel like my memories don't start until I was like 6, 7, 8, whatever. You know what I mean? So
that's crazy, bro. I mean, it's
real
world.
crazy.
Yeah. You don't meet a ton of people that have a similar story like that, but I've met a few, and it's always cool to connect on
and
that.
You always get caught off guard. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I didn't expect, you to hit me with that. You know what I mean? So
and I don't know about you, but like growing up, it was always something that, I didn't talk about like a ton. It was always something that I just kind of kept close, and I was like, regardless, like, I'm still out here living life.
Do you rekindle with your father?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
He actually just got out January.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Dope, dude.
So
dope. Now, did he have to go through the halfway house process?
No, he had a pretty cool transition back. So like he went through his levels and whatnot, got into like a fire camp out in California.
Dope.
So he was doing like community work, kind of like rekindling back into the real world. And so he did that for about, I think, 2 years, and just recently got out. It's on parole and whatnot.
You watch any Wes Watson?
No.
So it's this dude, he did like 10 years, and he's like multi-millionaire now.
Yeah.
But, he always, describes individuals when they go away, like sometimes they come out with tattoos. I don't know if you've watched any movies like Shot Caller or anything like that. But
I mean, I get the vibe you're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pops pick up any tats?
He did not.
No?
No.
Okay.
I would say the whole family's, I wouldn't say against him, but it's definitely not something that we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. So let's talk about where dad and mom. Dad was Indiana, mom was Illinois.
Yep.
What about grandparents? Close with any grandparents?
Absolutely. My mom's dad died when she was young, like 15 years old. So never got to meet him. My mom's mom is still alive today. It's actually tomorrow's her birthday.
Okay.
She turns 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she actually, kind of helped raise us back in the day.
Yeah.
Just with my mom, being a single mom, kind of raising us and whatnot. So super close to her. Dad's side of the family, they were still in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So saw them from time to time. It wasn't something that, we saw them frequently. They weren't raising us or anything like that, but still pretty close. They've both passed away now.
What's the nationality?
Italian, Irish, and German.
was gonna say the Schneider kind of gave me a German.
Schneider's the German.
Yeah, give me a German vibe. So, growing up, parents go away. You're raised single mother, 4 kids. Where do you place in the midst of the 4 kids? So
I have an older sister. She is 28 now.
Okay.
And there's me, 25. My younger sister, who is 21, and then my younger brother is 17.
Okay.
So he's still in high school.
Who was the baddest kid?
Probably me.
Yeah?
Yeah. My siblings, they're all, really, really good at school. All straight shooters. They've all just been really, really good kids. I'm super proud of all of them. And it's awesome to watch them, just head down a good path, especially with the circumstances that we've kind of been raised with and whatnot. Yeah. But I was always the one that was probably getting into trouble and, kind of more against school, just did my own thing growing up. And I was just more street smart, Yeah. That was always me.
When's your birthday?
December 15th.
December 15th. So you just turned 25.
Yeah, 98.
Okay. I'm 9/25, 98. So
okay.
A couple months on you.
Yeah, we're right around the same age.
Absolutely, brother. So getting into when did you start to experience the most trouble? High school?
Just with like life situations?
Just
or like trouble.
You being a bad kid. When did that start?
Probably right after my dad kind of went away. There was a few situations.
I was the same way.
I would say 3rd, 4th grade.
Angry and confused.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say like crazy, like angry. I was definitely confused, but I was just like, he was always my guy, my go-to guy. We had a phenomenal relationship. Still to this day we do. But when he was gone, it was like I didn't really know who to follow. That was my dad. That was my figure. And so I would just follow my friends, go and do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And, wound up getting into trouble a few different times. And that just kind of continued. Like nothing too crazy, but, just not.
You weren't like expelled?
No.
Okay, so that's where we differ.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where you were at?
Yes. I think
what year was that at?
I got kicked out of every school. So
seriously?
fifth grade was when I got my first fight, and I got in-school suspension.
Okay.
In 5th grade, which was weird because I don't recall any other of my friends, having in-school, like ISS, and I don't think, there may have been some recommended school suspension as well. And then I think it was a couple months into 8th grade that I got they gave me an option. They said you can get your son a parole officer.
Jeez.
To like follow him, and we're gonna legally like file all of the, because I guess I got voted school bully, and I was just an angry kid. You know what I mean? That's not something I take pride in. I look back and I regret anybody I've ever just made feel bad. But at the time,
that's just your outlet.
Yeah, and I can relate. You know what I mean? Because like me and my dad had a real strong relationship. There's a lot of valuable things I got from my pops. And even to this day, we don't really talk, but like I always think about reaching out, But the things that he instilled in me were always like just being a real man's man, like no softness, no weakness. Go get the job done.
Right.
If you like kind of like Talladega Nights, like if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
We watched 300 and Scarface a lot growing up, so just kind of like you kind of get the vibe of him. But
and that made you who you are.
Exactly. So I don't regret a single second. But I think. My sophomore year was when I officially got expelled, and it was like a police expulsion. That was like my 2nd, 3rd, like legit fight, and just made some poor choices.
Yeah.
But I never did anything like really extreme when it came to anything streetwise. Just little street stuff that I think every, delinquent kind of goes through, but nothing extreme. Nor did I capitalize on that sales experience. Like there was really no ROI there.
Yeah, no, I hear you there.
But
I
I definitely played around in those areas. But
I was also a little opposite. I would say mine, not so much school wise. I did my fair share of leaving class and
I got a lot of that.
Dude, when I was in high school, my little brother was so on top of life. Like he would wake me up for school.
Yeah.
And at the time, he was probably in early middle school.
Yeah.
And I'd be in bed, not wanting to get up, and he'd have his backpack on. He'd come into my room. He'd be like, John, we got to go.
Yeah.
School time. And it was always just tough for me to get up, get out of bed, and, make it there. But yeah, I just ran into more difficult situations, just me getting into trouble, like outside of school.
Yeah.
I was, super into photography at one point, you know, being in Chicago, there's all these cool buildings and stuff. So that was something that I, you know, really enjoyed to do. And, you know, trespassing, all these different things. I definitely had a few situations like that where, you know, I'm running from the cops and, you know, trying to escape.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Stuff like that. So that's kind of where I found myself into, you know, trouble. And,
maybe picked up some parkour too.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
So obviously, you know, everything you experienced was definitely moments and things that just shaped you into who you are. Was there anything that really stood out that just occurred, good or bad, that just really, aside from your parents, your father going away, was there anything that really like happened that was like, man, that was the changing point of my life? It was like a day, a thing, or?
That's a great question. I would probably have to say, so I played soccer growing up.
Yes.
That was like my sport. You know, started extremely young, and, you know, my dad was my coach, you know, just really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I played a few different sports, basketball, baseball, but like soccer was my go-to. That's what I you know, performed at well. And so I was doing that all the way up until high school. And my junior year, I got my first concussion. So, you know, soccer is my dream. That's why I didn't do too well in school. I was just super focused on that. You know, if I was going to go to college, it was going to be for soccer.
Yeah.
And so that was my, you know, complete focus, and it was my love. It was my passion.
Yeah.
So after that first concussion, it messed me up pretty bad. I was in the doctor's office. The doctor basically came in and said, you know, I mean, you'd be pretty smart not to play ever again.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, this probably just isn't the best path for you at the moment. You know, that it messed up your head pretty bad.
Yeah.
And me as a, you know, young kid, I was like, absolutely not. You know, this is my passion. This is my love. Like, there's no way that you can take that away from me. And, you know, I took some time to heal, but I got into it way too fast. So I started playing again, and got my second one, got my third one. And it just kind of led me to a position where my senior year, I kind of had the opportunity to play soccer, continue with what I love, or, you know, totally change the trajectory of my life. And I, you know, took a long time to kind of make the decision, but I decided to just stop playing, you know, soccer completely. Yeah. And just go full, you know, force on life. And that's when I decided to do a little bit of school, found myself into sales, and, you know, just really, it was an opportunity where, you know, I just had to take a step back. I was always, you know, just focused on going forward. And it was tough for me to take that step back, basically kind of figure out where I was, and, you know, just look to see what was in the future there.
Now, did you get into sales right after high school?
I did not. So I was always like an opportunist. Like, I didn't really have a great opportunity after high school. Yeah. You know, like I said, I was super focused on sports. And so when I got those concussions and I stopped playing soccer, I looked back at, you know, kind of what I had going for me. Yeah. And it was basically, you know, C's, a few B's. Like, I didn't have great grades. Yeah. And I was probably a 2.5 to 3.0 student. And so I was like, shoot, you know, I don't have a lot of potential here, you know, trying to get into a good college. Yeah. But I was like, at the time, you know, this is the best opportunity that I have in front of me. So this is what I'm going to have to pursue, see how it goes, and kind of go from there. So I applied to schools, basically try to figure out which ones I could go to. I ended up finding a small school in Colorado. Yeah. And ended up going there. So I did 2 years of school out there in Colorado.
What part of Colorado?
Right outside Denver.
Okay. Some of my top dogs are from Grand Junction, Colorado.
Yeah, super familiar with it.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Damn.
I worked pest control out there for 2 years, so I know the whole area real well.
Damn, dude, yeah.
But that's where I met the guys that I started doing door-to-door with.
I think he's Grand Junction, too.
Yeah. 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 No, it's a sweet spot. I mean, Colorado, those were some of the cooler years of my life. I mean, just the experiences. Like, I'm super outdoorsy, so, like, I love outdoor stuff, you know, camping, snowboarding, mountain biking, like, you name it. Yeah. So, super cool opportunity there. And, yeah, that's where I met some of these guys that I started doing door-to-door with, and then got into sales from there.
So you're, 2 years into college, and then you get into sales. Yep. How did the sales opportunity present itself?
It was random. It was a crazy story, actually. So I'm going into my sophomore year, and I have a buddy who goes to the University of Denver. So I'm like, hey, we just got back out here to Colorado. You know, you trying to do something before school started up? I think we had like a week or something to go. So we end up going out to the mountains. You know, I'm talking like 2 hours into the mountains in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And there's this cool trail. Basically take you a hike up. I think it's like about a mile. And there's this massive like little pond at the top.
Yep.
And we were cliff jumping. So jumping off these big cliffs, like into this pool of water, just kind of hanging out, you know, drinking, listening to music, just hanging out with my boys. And this other group of guys, you know, had kind of come along. There were a few people there. Like it was, I wouldn't say a popular spot, but there were a few, you know, different people. And yeah, we were just hanging out with them, drinking, jumping off this cliff. And all of a sudden they just kind of got into talking about, you know, sales. And they had just finished up a summer going door to door. And, you know, at the time I was really struggling, you know, in school. Like I did not like college. I, you know, knew there was something better out there for me. And so when that opportunity presented itself, I was like, shoot, you know, this sounds super intriguing.
Are you still friends with the person today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and do they still do pest control?
They do.
So how long are they into it? 7 years or something? 6
years. I'm gonna do it 5.
Let's go. So what was that first year of sales like for you?
Have you done door to door?
Yeah, my 2.5 years.
So you get it.
Yeah.
Door to door is crazy, man. I mean, the experience was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it. My first year, my manager wasn't like a super on top of it guy.
Yeah, neither was mine.
So, you know, I met him, super cool guy and whatnot, but he was just like, yeah, you know, he just kind of threw me out there to the wolves.
Yeah.
My first day I was in college and he calls me, he's like, yo, come to the office. Like, you know, we're going to go out on the doors today. Just start training. And I was like, all right, cool. So I go through their office meeting, you know, it's set up similar to what you guys have, you know, just a big office, bunch of guys getting hyped up in the morning, which is fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, fell into that super quick. I was like, this is awesome. And anyway, we go out, start knocking on doors. And in Colorado, you know, you start around April time and it's still pretty cold out there.
Yeah.
And so it was a cold, brisk day. I remember wearing like a hoodie and a jacket with like their shirt they gave me. And we go out there, we're knocking for about an hour or so. He kind of shows me the ropes, just, you know, how to do it. And he's like, all right, brother, like, you know, from here, like you just keep going down the street, just keep knocking and, you know, see how it goes. Just try to get, you know, your pitch through. And so I do that. I just start knocking by myself. He literally left me out there.
Yeah.
It starts snowing.
Yep.
And I'm out there in the snow, freezing my ass off. And I just remember multiple people asking me, like, what the hell are you doing out here? Like, what on earth is going on?
Yep.
That you're out in the middle of the snow knocking on doors. And, you know, I didn't even think anything of it. I just kept pushing. I was like, I'm going to figure this out. And I remember there was literally probably like inch of snow on the top of my hat. I mean, it was coming down outside. I worked till 8 o'clock that night. And I texted him, I'm like, yo, like, are you still out here? I had the impression that he was still out knocking with me.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he was like, oh, yeah, bro. Like, you know, we ended up, you know, just going back to the crib. Like, feel free to leave whenever you want. And I was like, no kidding. Like, I was out here all day by myself just grinding. But I was like, you know what? That's just who I am. I mean, that's just like the person that I've become. Like, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to figure it out.
You remember your first sale?
Oh, yeah.
How long did it take for you to get that?
Definitely wasn't the first day, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I think it probably took me, I want to say about a week in.
Yeah, same.
So it took some time to just kind of get, you know, through the nerves and stuff like that. I'm sure you get that. And I just ran into this guy and, you know, I think he had like a mice problem or something. And, you know, just kind of run through the whole sales pitch and he was like, let's do it. And dude, that feeling is incredible. You know, when it finally all just kind of works out. And, you know, you just kind of figure it out.
Absolutely. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, I remember for us, there was no, like, off season. Because I always get intrigued when I talk to pest control guys. And they're like, yeah, we just work in the summer. And I'm like, man, that would have been nice.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't know what I liked, what I disliked more. Because when you're knocking doors
out here?
Well, so when COVID hit, we transitioned into virtual. But when I knocked doors, it was all Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was all Pennsylvania. And
that was for insurance.
Yeah, insurance. Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it, man. That's a tough sale. I feel
it's a weird sale, but when you just break it down, you keep it simple, and you're good to people. I think you can sell cockroaches to people. You know what I mean? Like if you're just a good, genuine person,
right?
It's a numbers game. You're gonna find some weirdo that likes bugs or something. You could take the reverse, route, and like you've knocked so many doors. I imagine you've gotten into homes that they just have a weird liking. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten in homes,
meet the craziest
people,
and it's one of the things I love most about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you just run into the most raw situations.
Dude, I've had so many crazy stories, not only from my agents. Like one of my agents, when we were still knocking, was in Nebraska, and these guys, this family, I should say, had an albino chimpanzee chained up, and like the setup, I guess the agent said, was like, this was like Planet of the Apes. Like this was not like a small chimpanzee. This was like nuts. This was like a trend chimp.
Yeah.
And like he said, it had a death stare, and like it was crazy. And I think for me, the craziest thing I can think of off the top of my head was like there was a pig in the house. You know what I mean? This one family had like 10, 15 kids. And they were all like somewhat young, so it's like you're just popping them out, pigs, and I'm like that was it. There's just so many fun experiences, or like this
I could
one
go
guy
on forever with the amount of stories that I have.
Getting stuck in someone's driveway. You guys, I think you guys just walk, but I drove to each house. And, we didn't really T-knock. I think that's what you guys call it, where I don't know if you'll get a lead and then you'll knock all the doors around it. But from what I heard, there's a couple of pest control guys that work here. They just drop you off in a neighborhood.
Yep.
And then like they like keep an eye on your location or something, and you got to like.
You basically just have an idea of what customers we have in the area. So it's like, all right, I got one here on this corner, one down the street.
Yeah.
And from there, it's ideally I think what you're trying to explain is just like kind of like working around like the sales you have, using it as social proof. I mean, it's probably very similar to, life insurance, what you do. It's like if you have a referral, like you're going to mention that person.
Oh, absolutely.
So it builds trust between you and the family, you
just
and the
old Larry
customer.
right down the street.
Right.
Had a mouse problem.
That's the exact pitch that we go with. And, it's pretty straightforward from there. It's just like, hey, we're out here working. If we can squeeze you in, get everything done at, a little bit cheaper of a cost.
Yeah. Makes sense. It makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
So it was, cool experience for sure. My first year was, we were the top office in our company. So we won like our
We just
big
won
trip.
that this year too. You guys, where do you guys do your conventions?
Typically Miami.
Yeah,
we've done them in Mexico before.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So it just depends, but yeah, we were the top office that year, and it was just cool. Like coming into your first year, just seeing like the success
to
and the
be a part of a winning
come
team
together, and won a 10-day trip to Thailand, and
that's sweet.
Yeah, just a bunch
now that's
of
a weird
fun.
place. I won't get into what Thailand's known for.
To be honest, I wouldn't know. We never ended up going because of COVID.
Okay,
so we had to change our location. It was crazy.
I said I'm not going there.
It was like last day before we were supposed to leave, we heard that like China was shut down.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, we can't go to Thailand. Like we have a layover in China. Like we'll get stuck.
Yeah.
So we end up changing the destination to the Dominican Republic like the day before we left.
Yeah, the DR.
Never ended up making it to Thailand, but I've heard some crazy stories.
I've heard some crazy stories too.
Have you been or no?
No, I have not. I think out of country for me is Mexico and Peru so far. We're going to Hawaii. So out of three years of ownership, we've just won our second year of top office out of the company. So there's about 150 franchise owners, like guys and ladies like myself. So, we were able to secure the bag again, 2 out of 3 years. So
that was this past year, 2023.
Yeah, cool. 2023. So we'll go out to Hawaii.
That's awesome.
Celebrate, be out there for a little bit under a week. And I've never been to Hawaii, so.
Yeah, neither have I. Yeah. I've heard good things though.
I'm excited. I like acai, so I'm hoping they got some crazy.
We do
acai.
our top 10 trip out in Hawaii. So like our top 10 reps from the summertime. Whoever sells the most gets to go to Hawaii.
Who's the GOAT of pest controls? Like who's the ultimate guy or lady?
I was fortunate enough to live with him this past year or our past off season. Yeah, it's my buddy Avery, and he's just dominated the industry for sure.
For how long?
I want to say, the past 2 years, I believe. He was, I think, the second guy in our company to ever do $1 million in sales in like about a little under 5 months.
Now, do you know, like, are you able to share what he takes home from that? Like top line, you don't even have to talk about like the profit, but just the gross, what the commission is?
I believe his commission was right around like 50-60%.
Yeah,
100%
that's fire.
sure on that.
What's he drive?
Gosh, he's been through a few cars. I think right now it's a X6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
BMW.
Yeah.
Big
That's
body.
sweet. Yeah, the guys love the BMWs.
Yeah, he's been through a few cars. I mean, I think he had the some AMG before. He likes the big bodies. I'm the same way. I bought a truck and just can't go back.
Yeah.
You know, I like the speed,
I got the
fast
truck.
cars, but the truck's the way to go.
Yeah, I got a truck right now. I had a couple Jaguars before, and then I thought I was downsizing because I was stepping into ownership and I knew I was going to be paying for everything.
Right.
I had to buy all the leads, the office. I was like, all right, I'll downsize. But I ended up paying, I feel like I paid just about the same for the truck as I was for
They're expensive.
2 Jaguars. Yeah.
I mean, I paid, good
they're-
amount for my truck, but I love it. It's the best thing ever.
No, yeah. I like being driven in it because it's so roomy.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
know.
like if I can
I
get
get
someone to
compliments
drive.
about the back seat all the time.
Yeah.
People hop in and like, dude, this is the best back seat I've ever seen.
What kind of truck you got?
Ford F-150 Raptor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go the Raptor, dude.
Yeah.
You know what Huh?
Yeah.
Y'all got a race.
I don't know. I think the Raptor would beat me.
What do you got?
I got a Black Widow. It's a 2022 or 2023 Dodge Ram Black Widow,
Okay.
right? Yeah. I have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah, Black Widow package, yes.
Are you like not like materialistic whatsoever? Just
No,
kinda-
man, so I am, but very surface level. Like, but at the same time, I could care less, you know.
If it gets you from point A to point B. you're good.
Yeah, to an extent. I like new stuff. I like luxury stuff. I like convenience. I like phenomenal service.
Yeah.
I like consistency. But I think for for half my life, it was really rough. You know what I mean? So like we really, and rough in regard to America. You know what I mean? Like not rough. Like the world had obviously generally had it way worse than what I had it. But like food bank lines and the food stamps and all that.
Yeah,
like we just kind of appreciated, one another. So it's like just my mom and my sister are my world. So it's like for me,
love that.
I think the competitive edge for someone like myself is like I'll put a couple commas on a 1099 and people don't realize I might take 5 or 10% of the money for myself and spend every dollar back into the business. Like, like I don't know any other 25-year-olds that have 10,000 square foot of office space. And, it's like it costs a lot. Like, and the amount of leads we give out, like the leads I'm paying on average, I'd say about $20 to $30 per lead. And it's like some months we'll give out 10,000 leads. So it's like finding the bread for that is like, when I show people, I'm like, bro, I damn near got to make a mill just to survive.
Right.
And, what are
keep the business going.
Just keep the business going. And it's like, because a lot of people, it's like, I like to flex on social media as well, because you're in sales, you got to recruit. So it's like, but I like to be very genuine as well, because I don't want to be like these guys that sell courses and then you get to see them in person and they have like 10 roommates, they all share the food bill. And it's like,
share the car.
Just be honest, man. You know what I mean? Like there ain't nothing wrong with the come up. Like if anything, there's more glory in being honest about your story. I'm like, here's what I went through, here's what I did.
Yeah.
And then 5, 10, 15 years down the road, as you continue to level up, it'll be cool to reflect back and like you didn't have to lie about it. So
yeah, my dad said something pretty cool to me growing up. He was always like, because he'd reached a pretty high status in his life. I mean, he was into the financial business of just lending out money. I mean, he was had tons and tons of assets, doing well for himself in the stock market, all that stuff. And so he had the nice cars. We had a nice house growing up and stuff like that before everything kind of fell apart. But he always just told me, he's like, the things in life, like the necessities, like they're always going to be the same. He's like, as time goes on and you experience wealth, it's like those things may get nicer, but the necessity, like they're still all the exact same things. Meaning, the car is, going to start as, maybe a beat up Corolla or something, and it's going to get nicer. It's going to get more luxurious, but it's still a car at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And he's like, that's one thing I really noticed throughout my life was just moving upwards in life. Things get nicer. They, become more in value, but at the end of the day, they're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So
I always think about that too. I follow a gentleman named Alex Hormozy, and he always says, if you could fast forward your life to wherever you're at right now, whether you're 50 years old or 5 years old, or, I don't know consciously if a 5-year-old would even understand, this, but, especially you young men and women watching this, you're 18 years old and you want to go grab the world by itself, you know what I mean, and go get it all. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's
right
like
in the palm.
yeah, so it's like you want to go take over the world, but you have to realize when you're 80, 90 years old, 100 years old, hopefully like your grandmother and beyond, and there's no one left. It's just you. I got to answer this as president of the company.
You're good, man.
Maybe put it on pause. Yo. How's it going, brother? I'm doing really good. I'm actually in the middle of a meeting with a gentleman that's been doing pest control sales for 5 years. He's 25, and we're chopping it up. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll give you a call back. Sounds good, man. I'll probably give you a call back in like 10, 15 minutes. Okay, I'll keep it in my calendar, and I'll shoot you a text. Bye-bye. I keep the phone always ready to go.
You have to. That's why I got the watch, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I keep the phone just ready to go.
It's got everything right here at your wrist.
Let's go.
So,
are we? Where were we? What was I talking about? Oh, yes. So let's say you're 100 years old. You know what I mean? Like for us, 25. We fast forward to 100 years old. You're just, there's not much life left.
Yeah.
What really matters? All the Lamborghinis and all the cribs and all the trips, or is it the individuals that are still left? And the individuals that were in your life that you were able to build genuine, deep connections, genuine, real relationships with your mother, your father, and despite the wrongdoings internally, family's always going to not see eye to eye at different times, but what truly is going to matter? The opinions of others, or what you were able to accomplish through love, relationships, companionships, through those people. And I think for me, I always lean towards the family and the love, and It doesn't put me in a position where I sacrifice the grinding I'm doing now, but it does make me realize what I'm doing now is not just for a better life. It's to create more freedom for the time we do have left with the people I care about the most, with the people that if I left insurance, who would still call me from insurance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, those people, like if you left pest control, who would show up? If when your family starts passing away, who's coming to the funeral with you? You know what I mean? If you were to pass away, who's coming to the funeral? Like those are the people that truly matter, you know, because as soon as you stop bringing benefit to somebody, that's how you can kind of measure how deep that relationship
stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, those are the people I want to build deep connections with. And I want to make sure, like, hey, look, the Lamborghini and the jets and all. Look, I'm not saying I don't want that stuff.
Of course.
But I am saying I care more about the intricate details of making my mom feel like a queen and paying back everything she did for me and my little sister.
Yeah.
To sacrifice pretty much her entire, a good portion of her adulthood to, raise me and my sister and take care of us. You know what I mean? Like
she took that sacrifice.
Dude, like, so it's like, for me, it's like, I would give up all the wealth in the world to take care of her. You know what I mean? So, and it's like, I will not, like, she's not going in a nursing home, like, even to the extent, like, my grandma right now is, a little older, and it's like, I'm grinding so hard right now because I want to, in the next year or so, get a big enough house where they can both just live with me. You know what I mean? My mom's fine. She's in her 50s. But, like, I love the idea. The one thing I love about the Eastern culture, there's a lot of immigrants in Chicago. You probably have some immigrant friends.
A lot of them.
Bro, they're tight with their family, dude. Like, we consider ourselves family people. They live with, the mom never leaves. You know what I mean? Like,
you got your whole
you keep the family united
in the house together.
So I love that. The more, that's what I think I'm most grateful for in Chicago is the exposure to the immigrant culture of realization of, like, man, I want my mom to, be with me for all of her life left on earth. You know what I mean? And that's more important to me than all of the things that we can acquire on this earth materialistically. And it's not, for me, it's not a justification for me to work less. If anything, it pushes me to work more, because it's more, a Lamborghini is 300, 400,000. But to give my mom the life that I know I want to give outside of, like, I essentially have retired my mom. You know what I mean? I'm able to give her a couple grand a month.
Yeah.
But, like, I want to do far more for her. I want to make sure she has the best health, the best medicine, like access to the best. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a lot more than 300, 400 grand. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my perspective on, like, motivation, pushing, but also reflecting back on life of, like, what truly matters.
Yeah.
And
that's big for me,
I always
too.
go back.
I mean, it's like, family has always just been my number one motivator, It's like, when you are stuck in a situation where, you're kind of surviving together, you know,
Yeah.
essentially, you know, dad left, you know, and whatnot. And, you're just kind of on your own, and you have, you know, your siblings, and you have, you know, whatever parents in the household at the time. And, you know, it reminds me a lot of sales. I'm sure you can kind of connect the two as well. But when you have a big, you know, group of guys, and you're all, you know, in the war room together, grinding together, you know, you're in the trenches, you know, together, just trying to earn income and, you know, figure things out. And it can be hard sometimes. You know, I know a lot of people see sales and they're like, wow, these guys make crazy money. It looks so cool, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's days, you know, you get done working, and I mean, if you've been in any sort of like negotiation, you understand this, it's draining.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tiring. It's like you work all day, and you know, sacrifice a lot, you know, in that war room and in these conversations. And those guys around you that push you to be better start to become, you know, some of your best friends. I mean, I've met some of my best friends in sales.
Yeah.
And
I think all my friends are in
those are the
sales.
people that, you know, you want on your side, you want, you know, to have your back, because they're almost like family to you. And it's the same exact thing with family. It's like when you're in struggles together and you're grinding together, you know, you come out together.
Absolutely. Now, as we start to wrap up, I think the one thing I always ask everybody is, do you have a favorite movie?
Absolutely. Miracle.
Miracle?
Have you seen it?
Which one's that?
About the 19...
is it baseball?
Hockey. 1980 USA team that won the gold medal.
Yes.
And, you know, they were just faced against this...
yes.
The Russians, who were the top dogs. I mean, they won the Olympics, the gold medal, the past however many years. And, you know, it was a bunch of... This was before they'd used, like, pros, you know, in hockey. So there was just a bunch of young guys who came from different colleges, and they, you know, were coached tremendously well, and were for sure the underdogs, but came out on top. And it's just an incredible story of, you know, just the underdog. Yeah. It's insane. You've never seen it?
I have seen it. Okay. I definitely am getting like flashbacks. You need to rewatch it, Tristan. And I was going to say, that'll get you going. I love underdog stories. You know what I mean?
That'll motivate you these next few weeks.
And relatability is like, you know, we are and we have been the underdogs. You know what I mean? So it's like playing from that underdog position is it gives you such a competitive advantage, because now there's something about an underdog where it's like, you're not initially rooted for, but once you get traction, I think, you know, Patrick McDavid always says, the world loves to see two things. They love to see someone on top fall, but more importantly than the world loving to see someone fall, they love to see an underdog rise.
Absolutely.
And I love that, because it's like, you know, I'm starting now to experience both. Because myself, I perceive myself as an underdog, because I always try to surround myself with people that are doing 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times more than I am. Totally. Opposed to being the big fish in the room and thinking I'm, you know, king him. Yeah. So, you know, but at the same time, there's people now that's like, if you go through my social media, bro, I got so many haters that are just like, they find out the craziest stuff. Right. They blast it through my comments, and they attack my family and all types of. Seriously? And it's like, yeah, brother, you know what I mean? Like, and I haven't
experienced that totally.
I've been out in public in Chicago, and people be like, "You're that TikTok kid. We hate you, you piece." And I'm like, "Oh, good, brother. Thanks for watching." You know what I mean? Because like I really don't. I honestly, my ego kind of likes it, because I never thought, you know, I would have that. Yeah, like that type of, dude, I came from like nothing. So
I mean, I think it's just the resilience too that you build up through sales. You know, it's like you hear so many crazy, way worse situations.
Dude, with chargebacks and 2.5 years of door knocking. You think your comments on TikTok are gonna hurt my heart, or not you saying like, dude, like I've had weeks where I had to sell everything just to get back, just to get even, because I had a bad month of sales and like, you know what I mean? Like just zeroed out, dude. And it's like,
that's one thing I've learned from sales is just, I mean, you learn how to really just overcome.
Yeah, bro, you got to be a dog. You just, it is what it is. It's like, and I ain't scared to be real. I think the people that are scared to be real, that's why their lives are so horrible, because you're attracted, like what you wear is what you attract. And you can only fake it for so long. So these people put these masks on and try to present something that they're not. And now you're attracting that. It's almost like when people put on a front when they get into a relationship. You were being someone that you weren't, and now 6 months in, when you start to try to be yourself and there's friction, you should have just been real from the beginning. Like, this is who I am. You truly are going to align with who you are, but you'll attract based off perception. And so if you create this reality that is just completely bogus,
right,
now you got bogus relationships. You've become a bogus man, and
yeah.
there's no real money in being a fakie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and that's the hard thing too, is like, there's just so many people in today's day and age that don't take the time to, you know, build a relationship. I mean, everything is online and like, it's so artificial, everything online, because
so fake, dude.
It's just so easy, you know, like you said, you got haters, people just talking crap about you, the business. I mean, I'm sure it goes on forever.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just hear the most outrageous things online, and it's so fake. It's so, you know, just fronted, and
it's projection.
You don't meet, you know, someone genuinely online. And that's why, I don't know, me personally, in my opinion, like, social media is just such a, you know, I think it's a huge downfall to our, you know, society in so many ways. And, you know, you just don't have chances to sit here and talk to someone like that. But that's something I've learned from sales, is just being able to connect with someone, you know, going door to door and like sitting there and face to face having a conversation. You just learn about, you know, who someone is. And, you know, that's just how I've always been, how I've always wanted to do things. You know, that's why I came up to you in the gym. I was like, yo, you seem like a cool guy online, but you know, let's chop it up. And you invited me on, and you know, it's worked out great. And this is how you build, you know, the relationships and like the network. And
that's all. I'm big on relationships, brother. It's like, I was telling, you know, one of my co-hosts, Dave Wang, I was like, dude, I'm just big on just genuine relationships. Like, I don't care if you've got $0 or $1 billion.
Yeah.
If you're just a cool dude or a cool girl, like, I just want to be friends with you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
If you're genuine, like,
just a genuine person. You know what I mean? I'm measuring your value based off our reciprocation and our alignment. You know, if it feels good, let's rock, man. Like, you know, like, I don't need nothing from you. You don't need nothing from me. And if we can bring value to one another, we bring value to one another. It is what it is. You know? Let's just keep it 100. So,
that's a very good point for sure.
Last couple things. Faith. Do you have any faith? Christian.
Huge follower.
Let's go.
Faith.
So, believe in Jesus. And the next one is music. Like, what type of music you like?
I would say wide variety of things. I mean, it just depends on not necessarily my mood, but just kind of my environment. You know, when I'm in the gym, I would say for sure headed more like the rap, you know, kind of hip hop vibe. After I bought my truck, funny enough, like, I got into country big time. You know, I was riding in the truck, and I was like, all right, I need to just put this on, see how it goes.
See how it feels. It's a nostalgic feeling.
Oh, I love it now. It's great. So, fair amount of country. And I like older music, 70s, 80s.
Yes.
You know, just the older tunes.
I'm
just
the same way.
Get down to some of those sometimes, and I'm just relaxing.
Yep, I'm the same exact way. I think the last one I'll ask is food. I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite restaurant? Favorite place to eat?
Shoot, I would say, I mean, I've been lucky enough to travel to a lot of different places and try a lot of different restaurants and whatnot. I'm a big sushi fan.
Yeah.
Specific restaurants, I mean, I've been to a few good ones. Even right in Naperville, there's a spot called Blue Sushi.
Yeah.
Phenomenal sushi there. So anywhere I can find good sushi.
You got to look up. I think I forget the style of sushi they do it, but Joe Rogan recommends it, and I've gone to like one or two, and it's like a private sushi dinner. It's like a table of 8. It's like a sushi bar, and they have a sushi chef makes just fresh sushi.
I was just there like a week ago.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like it's gonna cost a couple $100, but like
the name of it. But yeah, it was cool. It was like a speakeasy. So you come in, it's like a room, you're just hanging out. They bring you drinks.
That is
all of a sudden they call you back.
Yes,
and it's a private room with, I want to say 8 to 10 people.
Yep,
and the chef's just like, here's what we got.
Whips it up,
just start trying. Just whipping
Wasn't
it up.
that sick?
He's just passing him. Oh, it was phenomenal.
Best thing.
And he's just like talking about the fish and the quality, and I'm like, this is a cool experience.
I think having that experience, I don't think I'll do sushi any other way.
Yeah.
There's one other sushi place if I'm starving, I'll do, and it's like conveyor belt sushi places.
Okay, I've been to a few.
Yeah,
not too many.
They definitely don't compare to.
I always enjoy just like the go-to all-you-can-eat. You know, me and my buddies in Vegas, we would always go to, you know, all-you-can-eat sushi. A lot of the times at night.
Right after legs.
Oh, dude. And just the next day, the pump is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all those carbs from the rice and stuff, it's like you get into the gym next day feeling real good. So
Fire.
And that's an important part of my life. You know, I'm super into health and
have to be.
You know, I've gotten onto the cold exposure wave. I've been doing cold showers for the past 5 years. Like, I love it. And, you know, took one this morning. They're tough in Chicago.
Yeah.
I've lived in Atlanta, you know, run our office out there, Vegas. Like, those cold showers aren't bad. You know, their cold water's not bad. But when you sit out here in Chicago, the pipes are freezing. Like,
they're freezing, brother.
You run into some cold showers.
Yeah,
and
cold showers, cold tubs.
Working out, it's all good stuff.
I love the self-development. Reading, praying, working out is a part of my routine regardless. Even today, like I just haven't been feeling well the last 2 days, but I still got to get it in. You know what I mean? There's a small piece of me where it's like I've got to get some type of development where I'm going to read a little bit, I'm going to pray a little bit, and I'm going to work out a little bit. So
that's one thing I've noticed about you. I mean, just following you on Instagram, like you've got that consistency.
I got to get it in. You know what I mean?
That's important. I mean, consistency is, you know, it's what creates all those building blocks to get you to that person that you want to be or that success that you want to reach.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, regardless of how you feel, like you got to figure it out. You got to get it in.
Where do you see yourself, and this is, I promise, the last question. Where do you see yourself 5-10 years from now? What's the vision?
I would say heading down a similar path now. I mean, I love leading people. I love, similar to you, experiencing, you know, new people, meeting new people, building genuine relationships, having those people that you can, you know, that have your back. You know, when you build that relationship, and like you said, down the road when, you know, the money and all that stuff doesn't mean anything. I mean, when you get to a certain point, I mean, you know, money becomes kind of worthless to you. It's just like, that's just a byproduct of the life that you're living. And so all of those relationships, you know, are super important to me. And I feel like I've built so many of those in my life through sales. Yeah. And so I would say just continuing to, you know, focus on that. You know, I see it as an opportunity to create opportunity for other people, and being able to watch them become someone that they enjoy to be, and just watching that growth in someone else is one of the coolest things that I've been able to see in my life. And I would love to keep doing that. You know, love to keep leading people, doing sales, watching people grow, just giving them the opportunity to become who they want to be.
That's fire. Fire. So if people want to come work with you or they want to just network with you, where can they find you?
I'd say Instagram is usually the best spot for me. It's my first and last name, John Schneider, with 3 R's at the end. Dope. And I'm around the Chicagoland area, so if you see Tristan and I at the gym, let us know.
Let's go. All right, guys. Well, this is another episode of Adversity Kings. John Schneider. Make sure you check him out. And if you enjoyed the episode, like, subscribe, maybe share it. Have a great day.